Week 5 power rankings. So looking at number 10, we're going to have the Seattle Seahawks down a spot. They lost to the Detroit Lions on Monday night, but not because of their offense. I think Geno Smith had a great game. Kenneth Walker, even in his limited carries because of his injury. Kenneth Walker had 3 touchdowns. He had like 5 or 6 yards per carry. I think that Seattle Seahawks were rolling through the Detroit Lions. But it's that Seahawks defense that was very good in the first 3 weeks, but did nothing versus the Lions. And hopefully that's just because of the injuries. But the Seahawks, they did not play very well. They couldn't prove themselves versus the Lions, so I have them dropping down the spot. But not because of their offense, mainly because of the defense. And number 9, I'm going to have the San Francisco 49ers back on this list. A good win over the New England Patriots, but really what I like about the Niners is they're starting to get healthy again. They got Kittle back, they got Debo back. We're still waiting on McCaffrey. However, I think Purdy with Kittle and Debo should do enough to keep the offense afloat, and that Niners defense has been very good. It was only against the Patriots, so I don't want to put them any higher than number 9. But I have the San Francisco 49ers back on this list. They're starting to get healthy now. At number 8, I'm going to have the Washington Commanders on this list for like the first time in like ever, I think, ever since I started doing power ranking, and this is their first time on the list. They beat up on a all right Cardinals team, but really what I'm most impressed about is honestly both their defense. Is their defense. They shut down a pretty good Cardinals offense, and even though I don't think the Commanders defense is perfect, I don't think they're going to be historically bad like they were last year. I think the Commanders defense can be like below average, which is good enough because of that offense led by Jaden Daniels has been very explosive. I think Brian Robinson has had one of the more underrated running back seasons so far. Terry is Terry, and it's really Jaden Daniels. He's having himself some great games and lifting this offense up. Okay, then number 7, I'm gonna have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back on this list. After they dropped out last week, they put up a great game versus the Eagles. Um, that Bucks offense with Baker Mayfield had himself a very good game. But that Bucks defense, which was not great last year, shut down the Eagles in the first quarter and a half. They shut down the Eagles. Very impressive win against an all-right opponent. So I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming back on this list. They look like one of the more well-balanced teams right now. Okay, and then number 6, I'm gonna have the Baltimore Ravens up a spot. A very impressive Sunday night football game. I'll give them that much. Um, their offense dominated, their defense dominated against a very good team like the Bills. Only reason the Ravens aren't up higher right now is they're 2-2 compared to a lot of other 3-1 teams. So Ravens, they're starting to look like they're turning a corner. Number 5, I'm gonna have the Houston Texans staying at number 5 for like the third week in a row. Texans, they got the win. Not a very impressive win. They had to like claw and fight to win against the Jaguars. Jaguars are one of the worst teams. And the Houston Texans, I've been saying this all season. They have the talent, they just haven't put it together yet. Number 4, I'm gonna have the Buffalo Bills dropping 2 spots. It was a very bad loss versus the Ravens. However, I still believe in the Bills. They were starting to get some momentum before Josh Allen fumbled the ball away. I still think that Bills defense is good, and that Bills offense can be very good. I still have the Bills on number 4. I'm not gonna hold one loss against them that much. Number 3, I'm gonna have the Detroit Lions staying where they are. Lions, a very impressive win over the Seattle Seahawks. That Lions offense, for the first time in I think this season, their offense came alive. However, their defense got cooked. Their defense that have been playing pretty good so far this season, they got cooked by the Seahawks. It was kind of a there was a lot more good than there was bad, but there was definitely some bad in that loss. But Jared Goff was perfect. I still have the Lions at 3. Number 2, I'm actually gonna have the Kansas City Chiefs going down a spot. Like I usually believe that the number 1 team in NFL keep the number 1 team until they lose. However, the Chiefs, the injuries are starting to piling up. They did not win that good versus the Chargers. Chiefs defense is still very good. However, I'm really worried about that offense without Rashee Rice. So I have the Chiefs coming down a spot. And number teams that dropped out, I'm gonna have 3 teams again this week. First, New Orleans Saints. That's back-to-back weeks where the offense wasn't great and their defense was good, but not like game-winning good. So if the Saints that dropped out, the Steelers, I will say that I'm more impressed that Steelers offense had one of its better games. Justin Fields had one of his better games, but he still lost. And obviously, you have got the Philadelphia Eagles after a great defensive performance last week. You guys wet the bed, both your offense and your defense. And of course, you have the number one team in NFL right now, the Minnesota Vikings. They beat the Green Bay Packers, who are a good team. And they were blowing them out in the first half. They did allow the Packers to come back, but you can't deny they're 4-0. They've played, three very good teams. So I have the Minnesota Vikings at number one right now. So there you have it, my NFL Week 5 power rankings.